It's my pleasure to introduce the first of my three-part series of interviews with Angela Bofill. She and I spoke for about an hour, and frankly, I'm a huge fan, so I got tongue-tied many times during this interview. We spoke about many topics, including her songwriting inspiration to her experience recovering from two-stroke. In this first part, we're talking about her musical legacy. Well, welcome to the show. You know, I'm a huge fan, and we've been telling our audience that we're going to have you on the show playing lots of your songs. We just played your song from your first album entitled I Try, and I know you wrote this song when you were in your teens. Can you tell us a little bit about the crush that inspired you to write this song?
Okay. I think of the first crush, a teenage angst, inspired that song.
So how did you react? Because you wrote that song when you were in your early teens. How did you react to Will Downing cover that song like 20 years after you recorded it? It's a beautiful version, but I'm just curious. I mean, here you were a teenage girl writing about the song Longing for a Man, and then Will Downing covers it. It's an incredible honor as a songwriter. I'd love to get your reaction to his recording.
Yes, a beautiful voice that Will Downing has, because a beautiful version, too. I like it. A man loves too, you know.
Yeah, I love the universal appeal of that song, and you know, a lot of people think of you as a vocalist and don't really think of your songwriting skills. And you worked on your first two albums. You did so much songwriting. Can you tell us a little bit about your songwriting process? How that worked? Were the lyrics first, or the melody, or did they both come together?
Well, first of all, I have a piano, right? I practice, you know, Beethoven, Bach, La Quana, because I was fooling around and I had a nice chord I hit. I built a song of that, that chord.
And then you find that chord and the words start to come? Okay.
Yes,
and then,
yes.
So when you wrote The Moon in the Sky, how did that come together? Because that is like one of my all-time favorite songs, and you wrote you did the composition, Under the Moon and Over the Sky, excuse me. That song is just so beautiful. Did that take a long time? Did you write it in one day? I mean, so many songwriters either take years or days.
Attended Manhattan Music School in New York City, and assignment studying odd meters. Really, assignment, homework. That's write the song.
I hope you got an A on that, because I would give you an A for writing that song. I want to talk about this magical time in New York City during the 70s when you were, as you just said, you were going to the Manhattan School of Music. You then went to Hunter College and studied, I think you got your degree in voice. But you were coming up with all these other amazing talents, including Nat Adderley Jr., Valerie Simpson, and, of course, our mentor, Luther Vandross. So describe what that was like. How was that growing up in the 70s with all this incredible music and talent around you?
Awesome, because I joined the all-city chorus as a teenager. Also, a all-city orchestra. I met Nat Adderley and Buddy Williams. I grew up eventually. Santana turned out all the musician friends played the first demo I have. It turned out that Buddy Williams also attended Manhattan School of Music.
And then another friend of yours, a flutist, I believe, Dave Valentin, steered you towards GRP. Yeah. That was a jazz label. So here you were. You've been a professional performer since the age of 16. You're writing these wonderful compositions like I Try, as we said, because of your crush, and your homework assignment of Under the Moon and Over the Sky, and now you're auditioning for a record label. How did that come together? How quickly did they see you, and did you get signed to GRP? Well,
David Valentin, a friend of mine, because I toured a Latin jazz band, Ricardo Marrero, and David Valentin played flute. Oh, I miss him terrible. And David told me, oh, yeah, I signed on a record company, a GLP. I asked David, asked him interested as a vocalist, And Dave Valentine asked Dave Grusin, Larry Rosen, interested, yes, come over to office, and already wrote 6 songs and auditioned, or played a piano, a song, or sing, signed interested a month later, and boom, record contract.
And then the next thing you knew, This Time I'll Be Sweeter for fans was being heard all over the radio. I mean, that is considered probably one of your early big successes. What was your reaction and your family's reaction to hearing you on the radio with that song back at that time?
Well, to tell you the truth, a really great station back in the day, BLS, and Frankie Crocker, a DJ, envisioned my song over the radio. And the first time I try and listen, thrilled, that's a goal, One day, write a recording artist and play it at radio,
I love it. And I love the Latin fusion. Your mother was Puerto Rican, your father is Cuban, but when you listen to, like, the song Angel of the Night, you can't help but hear these Latin musical overtones and undertones, and you just told us about earlier how you came up in a Latin band. So, when I think about the music industry today and how cookie-cutter it is, and they kind of want to put you in one genre and not have you do a lot, back then you were really, seemed to me, to be very fluid with doing pop, soul, jazz, and having this kind of Latin sound. Was that something you fought for, or was that something that was encouraged on these first 2 albums?
Yes, really a lot of creativity artists, and that's me,
So you were one of the groundbreakers. I think you kind of opened the door for Gloria Estefan and the Estefans going to pop with Latin music, because you were right before everyone doing, really crossing over with musical genres.
Yes, I'm very proud of that,
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, your career is remarkable. And so now here you had 2 albums with GRP, and then you moved to Arista with Clive Davis. I want to talk a little bit about what changed in the recording process for you, and how was that different in that first time recording with Arista than in the 2 previous times with GRP?
Well, Clive Davis, very creative, and respect my creativity, musical, always. Suggestions, particular songs, I like it, record it. Noah Walden, a friend of the Bay Area, and Clive Davis asked me, need a producer. What about Michael Norida Walden? And to tell, half Norida produced, and other half myself.
No, I mean, that was a really successful partnership with Michael Walden. You recorded several albums with him. And, when I think back to that, it seemed he recorded Too Tough, Tonight I Give In. Tell us about Too Tough, because that was totally a departure for you. I mean, that really was a much more up-tempo, kind of a different song. When he first approached you with that song, what was your reaction?
Wow. I'll tell Clive Davis, Norida wrote me a hit.
You knew it right from the start that was going to be a big hit for you, which it ultimately turned out to be.
Yes.
And how did you produce your vocals? Because you have a 3.5 octave range, I read online, and it seems to me back in that time, producers really built songs around vocalists like yourself and Phyllis Hyman and others, and it's changed today. And I'm just curious, what was that experience like? Was he building the song around you, or were you considered an instrument in the song? How did the production go? Were you recording alone? Was he in the studio with you? Was it at night, during the day? Tell us a little bit about the recording process.
I co-wrote a lot of songs together, and Norida respect my talent, and still a friend of mine, a neighbor really, and feel good and, decide together, And so excited, a duet, Norida duetted Skaggs.
Yeah, with Boss Skaggs. It's beautiful. I love that song.
Narada energy, spiritual, very spiritual, calm down.
It comes across in his interviews that he's just so playful. So what do you prefer, recording or performing live?
Well, less traveling, recording, and that's good. Slow down a lot. I'm a grandmother now, a new job, a lot delightful. Staying put. I really enjoy that. But now sing children's songs.
I love it.
A really great video. Grandchildren love to play Animal Crackers. No. Animal. Oh, yeah. Animal. Ding, 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 ding. Animal Crossings. I saw Animal Crossing. Ding, ding, ding.
How lucky to have a grandmother like Angela Bofill to sing Animal Crossings to them. That's remarkable. I love it. But you recorded a live album. It's your only live album, I believe. It's live from Manila. It's available on your website, angela-bofill.com. You recorded this before. What can you tell us about it? This included a lot of your signature songs. And had you traveled to the Philippines many times before and recorded there? Was there something special about that night that really stands out to you?
Well, I love the Philippines. I love it. The first time I go to the Philippines, as a manager, long flight, somebody meted, yes, 100 people. Oh, what a welcome. Yeah.
I love it. And were there other areas of the world that really followed you? I know, like, Luther had a huge fan base in the UK. We would travel to the UK every year to do tours, and when we went down to South Africa, he was in stadium. I'm wondering if did you receive a warm welcome in other countries as well?
Well, Japan is fun. Africa once, Nigeria, and a favorite country, USA.